All right, welcome to G2 Podcast number 4. We've got Rick and Steve.
Started it already.
And Marmar's not even here to mess it up.
Well, that's staying in there because I ain't in
Ricky
out.
Steve and
Ricky
Pickle
Steve.
Rick.
No.
Oh, wait.
No, it's Ricky Steve and Stevie Rick.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And Steve over here brought us some excruciatingly hot sauce this time. It's more than the 357 apparently. We've got the Taco Vibes, the Last Dab, and the Last Dab Triple X. So we're going to have some fun with that if we can get there. So for every topic we have, we'll eat one wing. So if you want to go ahead and grab some wings or a wing, we'll get started. So we're going to start off with your history with G2, how you found us, why you joined, how you got your call signs, and stuff like that.
Well, who we want to start? Me?
We'll start with you,
me.
Rick.
I started talking. So
Yeah, since you started talking.
history with.
Oh, wait.
Airsoft or
I'm sorry. We have to do the first sauce, and then
Oh,
and then you can start talking.
okay.
are we starting with? All the way there?
Yes.
Alright.
So we got the Hua Jalapeno
Hugo Jalapeno.
by
Yeah, we were just gonna skip
General
that for sauce.
by the General's
Oh,
hot
that
sauce.
smells amazing.
It's really good.
Hot sauce connoisseur over there, like a wino.
I mean,
It's
really.
age.
According to the box, it's a veteran-owned business. So,
Yeah.
and as always, we're not sponsored by anybody.
I mean, if they wanna.
Yeah, if you want to reach out and sponsor us, we'll do it. And we get our chicken from JJ's Lunchbox.
I've not had JJ's yet. I've heard a lot of good things about it though.
It's the only place I buy it from now. It's like $1 a wing,
Yeah, I
But-
heard it's expensive, but
but they are the best
okay. Let me
that I've had so far.
get this hot sauce in me so that I can answer this question.
Got a good flavor.
That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, we're good. All right, so the question again was, how did I get to G2 or Airsoft in general?
We'll just
Just
yeah.
G2?
Let's start at the beginning. Like, how did you guys find out about it? How did you get into it?
G2 or Airsoft?
Airsoft in general.
Airsoft, yeah. Make sure we're on the same page. So, when I was younger, I played paintball, and at Houston Woods, which apparently is now gone. We were talking about paintball fields and things disappearing, and it's gone apparently. I didn't look too deeply, but where I looked, I couldn't find. And I played with my friends. Actually, the first time I played paintball was with a church group, and then all the rest of the time was me playing at Houston Woods, and a couple times with some buddies at Houston Woods. And then when I left Ohio to move out to move on to other things for a little while, I lost all my gear. When I came
How'd you
back,
lose all your gear?
I left it in Ohio. My mom made it go away. When I was a kid, when I was playing, so like, it also wasn't good gear. I just want to point it out. I bought it at Dick's Sporting
Fair
Goods,
enough.
and if anyone knows buying any airsoft, paintball, anything from Dick's Sporting Goods, kind of subpar. So I didn't have it when I got back, and so I just never really got back into paintball, even though I was always kind of interested in doing it. And then I met this idiot over here, and I don't even remember exactly how it started 100% anymore.
And technically, a lot of fruit was massacred in the starting of our.
Yes,
our
a lot of
airsoft.
fruit was started, but there was a starting point before it where like we'd be playing games together, and I could hear over his mic him playing with his like airsoft pistols.
Yeah.
And it was always like, all right, put it down, focus up, we're doing something.
So what did you get your airsoft pistols for? Were you already playing at the time? or-
I brought them from Massachusetts. I still had a couple
oh, so you were playing
left
out there.
over. Yeah. When I was 16, I had started picking up some gear, and I had a few friends. It actually weirdly started out with playing hide and seek, and then
Got escalated
and
seriously.
then it then it escalated to hide and seek with airsoft pistols.
It's long distance tag.
It really was. There were rules and such where the person who was it, had the airsoft gun, and if somebody that was hiding shot the person who was seeking, they had to wait an additional like 30 seconds, and the person could run away and hide again. So you really had to sneak up on people. and then that turned into a whole bunch of us just picking up airsoft rifles. Like everybody was trying to one up the next, and I ended up with the Tokyo Marui P90.
Love
and
that P90. Talk
yeah,
about it all the
oh my
time.
god, I had the Terminator mod on it and everything else along those lines, and yeah, it was we just would go out into the woods and just shoot at each other for hours. We never had a place to go. There weren't, like, we did paintball too, and we did a few indoor paintball places, but there was no real airsoft places, at least that we knew of.
About what year was this?
This was 2004, 2005.
Oh, so just 20 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hello, kitty. So, yeah. So I just had some gear left over, and we'd be playing Destiny or something like that,
Something like
and I'd have it on my desk and became kind of almost like a fidget toy.
Yeah,
Just
constantly
waiting
we'd
or
be
whatever.
like sitting in like waiting the loading screens or whatever, and I could just hear like the slide clicking and
Yep.
releasing the mag, and it's just like, come on, put it down.
Doing a trippy over there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Definitely, you don't know that Trippy is one of our members, and he's always fidgeting with stuff.
Yep.
Always
So-
racking them slides, you know. Even to the new guns.
Yep.
Potentially breaking them before people buy them.
And so Rick and I had worked together and became friends, and I used to go over to his place every Friday for this.
Basically, yeah, things like this.
we would drink, and we would do the Hot One stuff, and just kind of try to one up the hot sauce every time until we ended up with like the last dab and
With him throwing up.
yeah.
Twice technically. There was another one that involved a lot of alcohol
Yes.
and hot sauce at the same time.
Yeah, that was it.
Again, not a
Was-
good
was it-
combination.
Was
Also
it just
planned.
the hot sauce?
No,
and the
yeah.
milk?
Well, I was in the kitchen cooking or something, and
Yep.
they were out there. It was because it was one of our other friends there too. He wasn't going quite as high as me, but they were already doing the hot sauce and drinking. So I came out of the kitchen, joined them, and I had to catch up on the drinking and on the wings at the same time. So like they had been pacing themselves, and I had to do it all at once.
Oh.
Yep.
And then once I was caught up, it was fine, but like kind of too late at that point. I already had a real bad mess going on.
There was a Thunder Down Under already at that point.
it wasn't good.
So yeah, we did that, and then we were like, we should get some real airsoft gun, because we would go down. He lived in a shop. Basically, it was right above the stained glass shop in Covington. That's now the Stitchery, and they had a really
Wasn't
long.
it your
My mom's, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they had a really long basement. It went from one side of the building basically to the.
It was like probably 70 feet long, something like that. But not very wide, not very tall either. Like especially
Yeah.
once you got further back, because it got closer to the road.
There's a reason
It
why
would
we
get shorter and shorter.
started with helmets.
Yeah, that's why we started with helmets, because you'd be running, bap, hit your head on a cross member or something.
Why would you be running in?
Because
we were dumb.
just being stupid.
And
then
shooting at each other?
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
Maybe a little bit of alcohol involved. So,
Oh, gotcha,
you know.
gotcha.
Yeah, so
You guys kept your socks on, right?
no.
Oh no.
You asked.
So no, but we had done like I bought a bow, and we had done some archery down there, and so we thought about, we were shooting targets first, and then
Well, how
we were
tall was the basement?
Not very tall.
Not
we
very.
weren't doing long. Again, it was only about 70 feet.
Like
Yeah.
6 foot tall or something.
No, it was probably
no, it was
maybe
slightly
about 6.
yeah, probably about 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not very tall.
And it got shorter.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys were doing archery down there?
Again, not
Would you
longer.
get on your knees to
Well,
shoot?
no.
We weren't at the full 70. We were probably, for those, probably closer to
50?
probably not even that. It was may have been like 30, 40 feet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it wasn't anything skilled.
And it
both
wasn't
the bows
any,
weren't great either.
No,
so,
this was some cheap,
'cause
like plastic recurve bow type deal.
yeah, and I had found a bow at like Goodwill or Salvation Army that was like $5, and I was like, yeah, screw it, why not?
So how many times did you shoot the beams in the ceiling?
Not once.
Not
actually.
once.
No.
There
not-
may have been some kids' toys down there that have holes in
Yeah,
them.
there was a couple. There was a couple like
It's okay.
plastic.
They've been abandoned, so no kids are allowed of a toy.
There's a couple of plastic totes and stuff like that
Oh, yeah.
down there that may have gotten the business.
Oh yeah. There's
Um,
I just lost the word. A dresser, sorry, that has quite a few BB dents in it. No,
yeah.
no arrow holes, but it definitely had like
Doesn't
some sort
your
of
mom
filigree.
have that dresser now?
No, it's still down there. I was down there
Okay.
not too long ago looking at it. I was like, I can see all of them. And then yeah, so it went from the bows to again him messing with the guns. So I decided, like, yeah, you know what? It kind of sounds fun. Let's get it. This was 2019. So it was like kind of like a Christmas gift across, like to each other and from our friends and what. We slowly built up all of our gear because we're dumb without having any idea of what we were really doing except for screwing around with each other in the basement. And before we realized it, yeah, we were both rolling with ASL Mod L M's or M's and some pistols, just making fools of ourselves in the basement of this shop.
Yep.
Doing stupid crap.
Legend goes, there's still BBs down there to this day.
Oh, there is. Not legend, there is. There will never be rid of them.
They were in every crack and crevice in the stonework down there.
And we tried to sweep them up, but
We did.
I mean, anybody who's been to a BB field, an airsoft field knows there's BBs everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's BBs in here because Blooper was dumping them and desk shot,
Shocker.
desk popping and stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, we shortly after that, we decided to start looking at fields, seeing where to go. Most of them were closed down. Like I think we had looked at Fallen Warrior, but they only really did certain days of like events and stuff like that. Stuff that you guys.
Yeah, when we first started, when we were first looking at field, when we first got our first replicas, we went to the field that shall not be named. Pulled in, we're like, this seems
I was driving.
kind of sketchy.
It's like I don't want to drive all the way back there.
I don't know what this is. That's a like Huber Heights facility building. I don't know if this is the right place, so we left. We ended up down in wherever that is, where the all the
Trader's World.
Trader's World, but flea markets. That's the
Yeah.
word. Flea markets. I can't think of that word half the time. And ended up buying there. And by February, it was early. It was something like a warm February in 2020. We went to our first game, which ironically, G2 was there.
Yep.
A couple of them. I think it was like
Ghost.
Ghost was one of them. I want to say Danger Close was there. And there
Igor was there.
Yeah, Igor was there. And there supposedly was a fourth one, but I do not remember who that was. And they weren't on the team by the time we joined. I don't remember who it was. Like I said,
It could have been a prospect.
and
or
it may
something.
have been a prospect too.
And where'd you say this was at?
I-70.
I-70.
Like early 2020.
February 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to
Who
think.
was still on the team at that time?
Yeah, it's been so long
From the
ago.
originals, yeah.
Well, I mean, because that might have been around. I can't remember if that was around the time when like all the prior people were leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or-
because I don't remember seeing. Obviously, I think I only saw Danger Close one more time. No, two more times after that initial meeting.
I think when Danger Close was on, it all the older people had already gone.
Okay.
I think at that point. So you might be thinking of Airborne. He was on there. Not the guy from SWAT. It's a
No, I
different
know
one.
because
No, the other
I bought
Airborne.
that-
I
I
think
bought that
was
from Airborne.
before. I think that was before he joined in.
Okay.
I bought that from him, so I
From
know who
Airborne?
Airborne is.
Okay, yeah.
Loudermilk.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't remember. Like I said, I'm not even sure there was a fourth one. It's pretty hazy. That's 4 years
Yeah,
ago
it was a
now.
long time ago.
Yeah. Almost 5 years now. We're in 2025.
Yeah.
So we played, and then obviously COVID hit, and that was also the day his ASL ate itself.
Yeah.
And we'd only used, mine was fine. Mine's still fine.
My gearbox made the wine of death.
Apparently, I maintained mine better than he did.
I think it was just factory faulty.
It could be. And again, so that's part of the problem. We were discussing it the other day was that where you buy,
Oh yeah.
be careful about it. Because again, we bought it at Trader's World, and when it broke down, we went to go try to find them to get the warranty that they promised us, and they were gone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
smoke.
We'll bring that up in a later
Yeah.
one. But so like you were at I-70, and you found some of the G2 members, and then what happened after that? That's how you found out about
That's
us?
how we initially found out about you.
we knew that you guys existed. We didn't know what it was. We just knew that it was a guys on a team. And
we were too nervous to really get to know much because it was literally our first time out on a field.
yeah, and somehow they put us in charge of picking teams like
Later on
halfway
in the day.
through.
Yeah. It was, you guys know what you look. You know what you look. You guys know what
What G2 did?
No, no, no,
Or
G2
the-
had a stroke.
The open.
Yeah, I just had a stroke.
No,
old
some of the
age.
G2 guys had left. There was a few other folks
Oh,
like
so it was just for an open play.
Austin.
Yeah, it
and
was
Matt.
open play.
This was
wasn't
just open play.
It wasn't one of your guys' events. They were just happened to be there playing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I think it was it Matt or was it Austin? I think it was one of the two of them that was like, "You guys look like you know what
I'm
you're
old.
doing. You guys run the teams this time." And we were like, "This is our
I
first
don't
day
know
playing."
any of these people. I know that guy because he came with me.
That's what happens when you show with like $1,000 worth of equipment.
Wasn't that much?
It wasn't. It really wasn't.
We'll talk about that
We'll
later.
talk about that later because I brought some of the prices on that. But yeah, I mean, we showed up pretty well geared. And we just jumped in and played and had fun. You know, we didn't really hear about G2. Like we knew they existed, but didn't really know what was going on until we looked at our going to our first event. You know, and you know, some of the folks there at the field had kind of been like, you know, those are, you guys don't really want to try to get involved with them. They're all, you know, former military guys. They only allow you in if you're former military.
They're kind of elitist.
You know, they're kind of
supposedly,
elitist.
and
That's really crazy because like that's how it used to be
Yeah.
back when it first started.
yeah,
But I mean, by the time you guys came around, like
there
I
was
think-
basically
I think
nobody except for you.
Sarge
Pretty
was
much.
the only one that was on there that was
Yeah.
in the military.
Well, they were saying like
And
military
you.
and
That was
ex-military,
it.
so it was like you and Sarge, and that was basically it. Well,
Yeah.
airborne technically, because I think at that time he was part of the team.
Well, I mean, prior to me joining, like there was no military people on there
Oh,
aside
you're
from
saying-
Sarge.
okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he got me and Luke on, and so on and so forth after that. But
Well, I mean, that's just what we were told was like, not
Yeah,
necessarily
it's
stay
not-
away from them, but like, you know, oh, you don't want to be part of that team. We weren't even necessarily looking to be part of a team at the time because, you know, this was still fairly early 2020. Obviously, COVID was going on. You couldn't really play a whole lot anyway.
We had just started playing.
I know.
We had no idea what we were
he
doing.
just saw it. He just saw it.
The G-2.
He just saw it. He hasn't seen the other thing that you're doing yet, but
Yeah.
yeah,
oh, is it on your kit?
I mean,
it's on a piece of kit.
we got that.
I swear.
Oh,
to
I
God.
guess we'll pull this up now.
Should we have a
we
ritual
got-
burning right now?
We got.
I never got
See,
one of those.
The
By the
thing
way,
is, like, those patches were nice.
they were. I never got one.
Well, it was because you know who was the one that ordered them for everybody.
Right. That was definitely part of it, but apparently he also didn't agree with my call sign. So that's part of the reason why he never made me one. That's
this one?
Well, I mean, that's
I got it on the back of my head too.
yeah, it's pretty stupid.
The heavy sigh.
I mean, like, just take off the last letter. You
Yeah.
know?
Why,
I don't
and that's
know.
fine.
Why was it needed?
It really wasn't.
Because
he's the one who told us to
the
do
thought
it.
process was that we'd had team A, B, and C,
Mm.
and we had never officially like
Did we? I don't remember there being a. Well, at least
No,
by the
because
time we
even all
came
his
along.
stuff said C.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's because
And he was A.
we were discussing it, but we never formalized it. You know,
Yeah.
It never made it an actual thing. But he
Right.
started just ordering patches and everything for it, and I was like,
Somewhere, I'm not sure where they are, but he had given me like a whole handful of patches for like Bravo 1, 2, 3,
Mm-hmm.
because like this was obviously before I became Bravo 2 lead, but like when I first went to Bravo, he gave me a whole bunch of patches. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I'm like, he was just constantly ordering patches off of Amazon.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, he's the one who told us to do the dash. And as much as you, and you know, as much as I have some issues there,
Well, I mean, it's just,
it drives
it's
you nuts,
not,
and that's
it's
why I
not
do
in
it.
it's not even in anything. It's
It's
never
not.
been around. It
Nope.
was never in a document. It was.
Nope.
It's
It
okay.
was
It's
just.
there.
It's okay.
Poof,
Blooper
there.
and I will keep it alive forever.
I just don't like to be reminded of a pedophile. So apparently, you guys like to keep reminding me of that.
And Blooper, don't forget
Try to-
Blooper.
Try to guilt them into stopping it. You know.
Yeah, but it's funny to watch him get all heated about it. So
Not much in this world that gets me heated, but that's one of them.
it's not the hot sauce.
Yeah, so with hearing about us and stuff, last I remember, like Clayton was trying to talk you guys into it while at Fallen Warrior.
So yes, that's where he initially
Yeah.
picked us up. But we had gone to a couple of the, or at least one of the Explosive Sunsets at I-70, and we had played with him back when he was Cowboy.
Yeah. Yep.
And I remember like following him around and him just being so loud. Marmar, Cowboy, whatever. And I remember like we were up behind the CCP and like Sarge yelling at him like, "I can hear you from here."
And he's still that
And we
way.
were yeah, he's still that way.
And we were just playing like during this past summer, and like we're trying to flank around to go get some, and I mean he is talking so loud. I said, Mar, what's the point of us sneaking around if you're gonna talk like you're a scav?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like we were supposed to, that's what we were doing. We were flanking around, and he's just jabbering on, talking as loud as he can. And
Loud,
Sarge,
too.
yeah, and Sarge is yelling at him from the CCP netted area.
Mhm.
It's kind of hard to not laugh at that point.
Yeah. I'd be like, use your whisper voice. We're like this far from each other.
Right. Well, that was probably our first, like, I would say probably our first,
Event.
not necessarily event, but I mean, yes, it was our first event, but that was our first, like, really positive interaction. Because it was
Mhm.
like, this goon, he's obviously not super serious.
We love Marmar. to
Yeah, we
death.
do. We really
But,
do.
I mean,
As much as we love to give him shit.
we all got something.
Oh, yeah.
Except for me.
Yeah. Seven
But yeah,
inches, 7
so-
centimeters. So then we went to Fallen Warrior, and yeah, while we were there, it was like between games. Like because obviously Marmar at that point he was Marmar. We missed out. We were camping, but not at Fallen Warrior. We missed out on whatever he did to get himself Marmar. We know what he did, talking too much.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
turning everything into him.
Yeah. So
Syria's being bombed. Well, I bombed the toilet the other day. Like, what does that have to do with it?
it's not even part of the conversation. So he was obviously reffing because he was part of the team. He was part of the team at that point.
Yes.
Yeah. And Steve and I were down. We were in Lower Town, and we had been holding it basically all day. That was the day you guys had to basically pull Tan Team to Lower Village and let Green Team take the field, because I guess like across the whole thing, Tan just had it locked down. It was just the two of us holding Lower Town.
Well, I mean, so Explosive Sunset is designed for one team to actually win.
Right.
We force everybody to fall back. That's why like a defensive team only has like so many lives and they have to fall back to the next. So it's a stage thing.
Right. Yeah. It was just like it was at that point like basically the whole field was still under Tan's control, including where we were. I mean, we were where were we? We were at. It's near Lower Town. It was like that area, like on the other side of the river. I want to say it was.
It was that hospital or whatever. I think it's right across that river.
Yeah, because it's
Yep.
down the hill from the ammo.
Or was that the Chow Hall one?
Chow
Chow
Hall.
Hall.
It was Chow
That's
Hall.
what
That's
it
what it
was.
was. I was gonna say something to do with food.
Yeah.
We had held Chow Hall basically all day, just the two of them. I mean, there was a couple people that would come through here and there, but it was us basically all day. And Marmar would walk through and he would wave or whatever.
Be like, you still got this place locked down?
Yeah, we're still here. And then it was after that we were done. We went to meal, and he came and sat down and started talking to us. And we were like, we told him at the time, we was like, hey, we were told you had to be military. He goes, I'm not in the military. Obviously, this was before he joined up and went off.
Yeah.
But like, we're like, oh shit. Okay, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, for
He
a
was
few
like-
moments, it was kind of us thinking about it. He was like, I'm going to go get Sarge. He pulled Sarge over and started talking to us. And I think it was like 30 minutes later, it was like, all right, we're prospects now.
Yeah.
It was pretty much just like
Exactly
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we
'cause
left,
I remember
we left.
Marmar talking about wanting to get you guys on, and you guys were sitting over on a picnic table.
Yep, that's exactly
And then he
right.
came over and was talking to you guys some more, and then came back to me. He's like, "Yeah, I think these guys they really want to join
Yep.
and stuff." And I was like, "Well, hell yeah, get them on it. If they really want to do this, then
This was
let's
before
get
the
'em
moment
on."
in the day when we went back down there and I shot you in the neck when you were up in the tower.
Oh yeah, I literally
He's
just
like
peeked
bright.
up for half a second.
Snap, BB.
Yep.
I was trying to set
bright
up the-
yellow vest, right?
Made you rethink
The-
your decision to let us join.
bright yellow vest, like the "Do not shoot me" vest.
Yeah, well,
And-
it was a
but in my
highly-
defense, I couldn't see because you were
Yeah,
up in the
in the
tower,
tower,
and,
yeah.
You only saw my
And-
helmet.
and that was a tower that we could go up into.
Yeah.
And
We weren't
so
allowed at the time, though.
we weren't
'cause
well,
we had the
and
fireworks up there.
I couldn't remember whether or not we were allowed.
Yeah.
All I heard was the noise up there of somebody talking, and I was like, I looked at you because that was right across from Chow.
Yeah, because
a
we
little
were
ways.
in Lower Town
Yeah.
at that point. Yeah,
Yeah.
And
that
so
was after you'd pulled us out.
yeah, so we were peeking, and I saw the top of your. I think you were wearing your.
I was
your
wearing my
hat,
ball cap.
Your hat like this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. You couldn't see the vest, and I just happened to peek up
And he
just
peeked
enough.
up, and I had him right.
Just, I was putting a firework right here, and I was like, zap! It's like, oh shit! What the?
And I was like, oh, sorry.
Luckily, I have my Oakleys on too, because man,
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a good time.
yeah. I forgot all
I forgot about that
that.
until we just started talking
Yeah.
about it.
Some good times.
Yeah, that was a good event too. I think
Yeah,
that's
that was a really good event.
I think
That
that's
was a
the-
really good event.
Was that the one that we posted on Facebook that had all the explosions?
Yep.
and Yeah,
Yeah,
that
the
was one.
video and the discount Dr. Disrespect
yeah,
guy,
oh my
the guy
God.
with the mustache and the long
He
hair.
looked just like him, and he talked just like him.
Yeah.
Like a machine. That was also where we met Blooper for the first time.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yep.
not sure. Like I know he knows, but like I don't
Yeah.
know if anybody else knows that. That's actually where we met Blooper for the very first time.
Yeah, it was before he was before he prospected, before he came
Yep.
on. He came on shortly after that though.
It was a little bit after that because
Couple
he came
events.
to. He came to a couple open plays at I-70. I was like,
Yeah, 'cause
hey,
we were-
yeah.
we were
He didn't have a
members.
name at the time. You know,
Yeah.
it was just some random
Aaron.
guy. I was like, well, I didn't even know his name at the time.
Oh,
it was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, I recognize you from Fallen Warrior. I don't know what your name is though. And then now he's Blooper.
So, what was your deciding factor then on actually wanting to join?
Weirdly enough for me, honestly, Marmar, and just coming to that Fallen Warrior event and seeing that basically all the stuff that people said wasn't true.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell because we talked to you several times throughout that event just about what you do and how you do it and like the planning process that you go through and just like you know, talk to the few people that were on the team that were running the show, you know, and just really got a good feel for like you showed the family dynamic that was there.
Well, that's
when
also
you guys were doing that.
for me, like looking back, because we had been to a couple of the I-70 events, like 2 or 3 at this point, and going to every single one and Angie being there, giving out food. You know,
Yeah.
like that was obviously a big plus in my book. It was like, I don't know who this lady is, but she's giving me really good food. And
Yeah, I don't think we really made like a profit for the next event for months
Yeah.
because like
everything that
we
went
had
into
just
it,
enough money to buy the food and the fireworks and the chem lights and stuff for just that next event. Like
Yeah.
every time we spent the money on that because we wanted to make sure like people were getting their money's worth.
Oh, absolutely. And it was a
and
good
creating that
deal.
community.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, say what you want about that field. Every time we went and played there during one of our events, it was always a good time.
When it was a G2 ran event.
Yeah, when it was a G2 ran event. If it was just an open play, you know, like I went basically just to play and you know sling some BBs. But when it was a G2 event, when there was something actually going on there, and we had full access to the field, not just the tiny little section that we were relegated to, it was always a good time, especially because there was more structure to it. You know, like we weren't just running around up there, you know, 1, shooting hot, 2, people just doing whatever they're going to do. At the G2 events, it was always, well, 1, we have a much more like down to earth, well, 1, there's actually someone to talk to. You know, like you go down there, all the G2 members are out, you know, mingling with all the players. You know, you go up on the field and they're somewhere nearby. You know, like I said, when Steve and I were following Marmar through the bush that one time, you know, we were.
It's not hard to be nearby at that field though.
It really isn't. But I mean, what I mean is like,
Yeah.
we were
Yeah, I know.
literally, we could see and hear, obviously, Sarge, and I'm not sure who else was up there. There was like 2 other people in there. It might have been you and Lucas. I don't remember 100%.
Yeah,
I
you and
remember
Lucas were up
Sarge
there.
yelling at him. That's all I really clearly remember.
I was yelling at him.
No,
No,
Sarge
Sarge.
yelling at him. That was what I
yeah.
was saying when he was talking up a
Telling
storm while
him
we were
being
supposed to be
too loud.
flanking. But like, yeah, you know, like for me, it was definitely like this isn't just, again, like we were told it's a very elitist group. It's all military or former military, and then we go to start going to the events, and outside of the Fallen Warrior ones because it was so far away, Angie was at every single one, and she was treating everybody like they were family. It didn't feel like it was an elitist group. It definitely didn't come off with what we were initially told by the players that we were playing at open plays with. And then Fallen Warrior was like, for us, it was our first big milsim. Obviously, it's not like going to American Milsim or Milsim West or something like that. But like, it was a big step for us, and we go there and we're having a great time. And then someone from G2 comes and says, "Hey, you want to join the team?" Yeah, kinda. At this point.
Nothing against our camp out and
Right.
what we did for fun there, but that was probably the first event. Because I know we mentioned on the one with Lucas that like most people enjoy the camaraderie and the camping out and all that sort of stuff more than the event itself. That was probably being our first event. I think we got spoiled.
We did.
Because I totally enjoyed that event far more than the camping out was fun.
The camping out was fun, but it was also cold and kind of miserable that night. I'm not sure if you guys remember how cold it was.
It was cold.
It was very cold that night.
Yeah, I think it's because we always did it like in March.
You had more trouble with that than I did because I had the smaller tent.
Yeah, he had this tiny little like tent that was super efficient on heat, and
and he had gotten the big.
I had gotten
pop-up
a big
one
old
from,
tent like an idiot. And,
Walmart.
Yeah, and it
And
was
nothing to keep warm in
cold. But it was cold. That was a cold morning, and I remember
Shared body heat wasn't brought up at that time.
yeah, no, we weren't snuggling that night.
With clothes on, at least.
And we obviously didn't have Darren to snuggle with either. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes three's a crowd.
Not always. But yeah, so like again, like with the conversation with Lucas, like he was saying, like generally it's the camaraderie, but like in that case, yes, we had each other and we were just getting to meet G2 at that point.
The camaraderie was in the game.
The camaraderie was really in the game because the way it was set up to play and what we were doing, the goals and whatnot, it was way more about the game for us in that first real event.
Yeah, I think that was like one of the biggest things about back then was that's all we had to worry about was making sure that the game was fun.
And it
Now
was.
we have to make sure that the field is good, it's cleaned up, the shop,
Mhm.
the whole business aspect of
It's
it
a lot
all.
more now. Yeah. for
Yeah,
sure.
and so I'm, some may not be able to see it, but like we're trying to speed run through those parts as fast as we can so that we can start making the games fun again.
Yeah.
So we can focus on
Yeah,
it. I think we'll be able to do that this year.
A field doesn't just appear overnight.
Correct.
really
It
does.
takes a
And
long time.
Especially considering, I know there's a lot of people
we
who
have the
play.
patch for the last field that we tried to build up, and even that wasn't the easiest thing,
No.
the easiest road.
Yeah.
That was hard because people kept burning
Destroying it.
stuff, and
Yeah,
just
God.
kicking stuff down. And,
Yeah.
but
I
we
mean-
won't have that problem now at this place.
No,
so.
but what we did have, the one downside we have at that field was there was the original field there that was in a terrible state when we got there.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if
took a
that's
lot.
been mentioned. I know because I didn't get a chance to watch the first one. I know I watched all of Lucas's. I mean, obviously it wasn't really brought up with him because he was not been part of it.
Correct.
So I'm not sure what was mentioned during the podcast with Marmar, but like when we got to that got to Hidden Springs, I always say Hidden Valley Ranch. Always do it. It's terrible.
It's not ranch dressing.
It's not. Every time I say it, I start with hidden and it just rolls off the tongue.
Yep.
I try to stop myself.
Yeah.
But like when we first got there, it was most of those we destroyed most of the buildings.
Oh yeah.
You destroyed most of those buildings. Most
Yeah.
of them had to be burnt to the ground because they were literally falling apart and unsafe. And
Probably like 25% to 40% or whatever the buildings were still there, and like even now, like one's halfway falling down. So
Yeah.
we gotta clean that up when we go out there again.
so like it wasn't just us going out to Dayton Battleground was rough, but it was pretty much a blank slate except for being covered in snow when we got there.
Yeah.
Literally covered in snow. But that was pretty much a blank slate. It was cleaning up the buildings and whatnot, getting all the trash and the
Yeah, that's all we had to do. There was
Interesting
clean up
stuff.
the trash.
Just clean up the trash
And then
and
I
start
brought
building.
out the bucket loader,
right.
the skid steer, so I could make those above ground trenches in that back
Still
area.
love those.
Yeah, we're gonna redo that
Yeah.
too.
Can't
Yeah, we just gotta get there. He's got like a lot of stuff up front. I think that needs to be probably like brought out back down there on the field, and then we can make those above ground trenches again. So that I want to see about like talking him into allowing us to like get some, I don't know, like clean fill material or something like clay or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah,
and
yeah.
just be able to stack that stuff up and run
Yeah, it'd be good because
trenches.
the trenches were some of the best dynamic play we had at Battlegrounds, I feel like. I mean, yeah, there was definitely stuff going on in the buildings, but
I would have liked that spot to have been like 4 times bigger.
oh yeah, if it
That'd
was
have
even
been great.
bigger and a bigger maze, oh yeah, it'd be great. Because I mean, there was always something going on in those trenches. And
Yeah.
like when we did Explosive Sunset, when when you were with the players, as I usually was, being part of the EOD, like, or now combat engineers, I never was one of those. I was always EOD. Like following them through those trenches while they were fighting with G2 to get to the objectives. Like that was the scary part, was going through those trenches, because you never know if there's gonna be a G2 member around that corner waiting for you. It's
Yep.
dark, it's quiet. All of a sudden you come around the corner and you get lit up.
Yep. Yep. Well, so we might not be able to do like above ground trenches out at the field, but I got the authorization to like bring in some vehicles and stuff like
Yeah.
that, so we could still like do. What the heck do you call it?
Like pathing.
Yeah,
almost.
a pathway. What's it called? The place that has all those wrecked cars, salvage yards.
Salvage yard, yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. So
Junkyard,
yeah, do
salvage yards,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It's something to, because there's so much open land. Like I haven't been down onto the field in a while because I've been busy. We'll get to that. But like, I remember being down there when we first started working on it. It was just like open field in every direction, and it was like, oh, the possibilities, but it's a lot of work. Like, again, the nice thing about Battlegrounds was it was a fairly easy, clean slate, but it was a lot smaller. It was a lot
Yeah.
less for us to do
Yeah.
to get it up really going.
Yeah, that's why I was telling the guys this past year is like we really need to focus on an area of the field rather than the whole field, because
Yeah.
then you'll end up like Starfield, where it's so massive but only an inch deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like we need to fixate on a small portion of that map and make it a foot deep. You know, in character, in being able to role play, or
7
in
inches deep?
detail, stuff like
7 inches deep.
Yeah, 7 inches deep. Yeah, because like I said, you know, we could do something a little bit over here, a little bit over there, and you would never know.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
it's
There's just so
180
much.
acres. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so big. And I know like a lot of people want us to get Browntown fixed up and all this. Well, I mean, it takes a lot of money to do that stuff. Like the one buildings that we just put out there this year was probably like $10,000 worth of building.
Right.
You know, it's just, dude, there's like a hair or something.
It's driving you nuts.
I think that cat came up.
Cut
and-
it. Edit that out.
No, we're doing it live.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just there's a lot to do out there, and we gotta get the money to do it, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Because we did really well this year, and we got so much of that shop done.
Yeah. The shop was amazing. Like
Yeah.
I've been out there through the phases, and it helped. Was actively there when we first started building it, and the difference from where it was even the last time I saw it to this last time I saw it early December, it's like night and day. It's amazing in there. I've been
Yeah.
telling him he needs to get out there so he can see the new one, like see how
Yeah.
it's actually turned out. It's great.
Yeah, because like a lot of people, they need stuff to go
Yep.
play, you know. So we try to facilitate as much of that as possible, and that's what helped lead us to, like, we only gained maybe like an extra 10 players per month being open every weekend,
Hopefully more soon.
but we over tripled our income.
Yeah.
From what was offered in the shop, because we had gun sales and everything else that was in there now.
Right. The more business aspect of that building the community, which
Yeah.
is
And then we got all those picnic tables out there for people to rest on, you know, and the canopies so to keep them out of the hot sun. And we'll finish the last one hopefully early spring. I just gotta get one board for it, I think, and then we'll go from there. But now this year is going to be all focused on getting stuff built out there for the people to play with and stuff. So it's definitely needed.
Yeah.
So we got the Middle Eastern area that we're going to try to get done. There'll be a mosque in the center with some outer buildings, some oil silos that are going to be built, and a couple like guard stations, so you can do some role playing with that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And then we'll fix up Camp Victory, and then we'll build the prison, and we'll move on down the line, because that whole open field area kind of needs some filling in.
well, that's what I mean. It's like it's very empty in comparison to what we had at Battlegrounds. And again, part of it's because Battlegrounds is small. It was very easy to fill that in when, I mean, most of it was provided by
There.
what was there. The buildings, the brush, the fence line that had the brush built into it, like growing through it and all that, made good walls to break up the field. And
And a good way to eat several of your patches.
yes,
Well, I
I'll
mean, it's
take a
just
couple.
the main problem is like right by Camp Victory, where the buildings end on the far side. The property line of the fence comes down and is only like 20 feet away from the edge of the woods.
Right.
So like it's so hard to get past there to get to anything because people could just camp out in the buildings so easily.
Yeah.
It's way
Yeah.
too easy. So we got some stuff to address that, but
Work in progress.
yeah. Anything else you guys have to add to your history of G2?
Mm.
Otherwise, it's on to the next sauce.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Put that back up.
I ain't
there.
stirred.
And that's Danger
Not
Close.
yet.
Danger close.
Right?
Of course.
Brought him up, and now we're gonna put him down.
Yeah. And while we're doing this, we'll discuss the best memory of Airsoft and/or G2 or whatever, you know.
I'm still on the fence about this one.
Yeah. I'll take the first one.
Yeah, please.
First crack at it.
Please give me a moment.